everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. And it's really just enough Heshy because it's only Heshy. And welcome back to the show. And I thank you so much, guys, for always tuning in and joining me. And again, sometimes my co-hosts want to come or they don't want to come. But you know what? I've understood that I have to be consistent. You have to be always consistent, and I always want you guys to know that I'm always available to be here. I'm always around, and I try to show that to my community. I try to show that to the people that I work with. I try to show it to my clients. You know, I had a lawyer today that called me that was in trouble. And she says, well, Heshy, the stuff that you want to do, I'm not so happy with, and I'm busy. But I said, look, whenever you call me, I'm available. I always pick up your calls. I'm not charging you for my time. But if you don't call me back and you waste my time, then you're not consistent, and then I don't want you to work with me, or I want to work for you. I got to have people that are reliable. Even my clients, you've got to be reliable. I know things messed up. I know you made a mistake. So work with me to solve your problems. And that's what I believe New York should be. We should work together. You know, I have so many things that I saw this week that was going on. You know, I'm going to tell it to the people when they join the show that, by the way, welcome YouTube fans and Facebook fans. Soon we're going to have our radio people joining us, and I'm going to do my shout-outs. But, you know, there's a young kid that's mother has ALS. And also whatever, very, very serious. She can't take care of this 10-year-old child. Now, we've taken in a lot of kids, but this is a kid from another town. And they're going to put him into foster care. We need somebody to take him over. We need somebody that's consistent, that's honorable, that takes these people in, that will be responsible for this child and not just take him in like just for money and stuff like that. You got to care. You got to love people. You got to understand that. You know, I know you live side by side with other people, and hey, when you go home at night, it's not you that was in trouble today. Like me, I had so many people with issues, so many people with problems. At the end of the day, I went home at nighttime. Don't care, you know, nobody cares. Justice means that we help one another. Justice is for everybody, not just for yourself. We have to take care of the ones that are out there. That's what this great country is. You know, these demonstrations that are going on with the Palestinian kids, there's no justice here. They scream justice, no peace. What does that mean? What does that mean? They're causing vandalism in our country. They're attacking Jews. They're saying death to America, death to Jews. That's not what this country is. God forbid you walk down the street and you just went to somebody that want to kill you. You know, you can go to court if that person dies or something happens. Just threatening somebody like that, I want to kill you, you go to jail. Here you have hundreds of people going out there. Death to America, death to Jews, blocking students from going into their colleges. I don't know, right now I saw there was a Cooney school. They took over a building. Nobody did anything about it. The cops left it alone. Right now, right here. They even renamed the building they took over. How do we allow this? How are we allowing lawlessness? And half of them are not even American citizens. No appreciation for this country. And it doesn't make a difference what religion you are. And I'm going to tell you a story about we're looking for hate. Hate, the devil loves to make hate rise. And the more hate we have in this country, the more turmoil we have, and certain people are able to accumulate mass wealth or riches by having the rest of the people in turmoil. That's my opinion. That's what I'm going to talk about tonight. That's all the stuff I'm going to talk to you about. And I want to explain to all of you out there, we need not just peace. We need to work together. We were so close. Anyways, I want to welcome all my listeners on WSNR. Welcome to the Just Enough Heshy Show. And all the people from WPLJ, WNEW, FM HD3. Welcome to the show. And WPILV, whatever, VIP in Miami, Florida. I always get you wrong. I'll figure it out one time. Welcome to the show. And as I was explaining to the audience before you guys joined us, we need to work together. We need justice. We can't have people being lawless and threatening one another. We can't have Palestinian people, not even Palestinians, people that are bored with themselves. There's no way I see some of those people on the street that they're not being paid or not being given something to join these protests. It's not possible. We can't have a whole city shut down. Protests, vandalism. You know, last week a kid vandalized a World War I monument to our soldiers. His father turned him in. I'm so proud of that. I would turn my kid in. I don't rat on somebody else. But when they're causing issues and troubles and hurting the country, hurting people for no reason, I understand when you made a mistake. I understand something happened or it's part of the business. I understand sometimes a mistake happens. We got to keep ourselves quiet. But you can't just keep going out to hurting people, robbing, killing. You know, you have President Trump, everybody. He's on trial for a criminal bribe. I don't even know what he's on trial with, this idiot Stormy Dravers. Idiot. He had somebody else pay it to tell somebody that they didn't have sex, and she was blackmailing him. He says he didn't even have sex. She can't even prove it. 2006. And you know what happened? She was paid. She owes him money. You know what she said? She says, if President Trump wins the election, she's going to leave. Just like Alex Baldwin and all those other people. Leave. Nobody's stopping you. Go. I'm not leaving. People tell me I'm moving out of New York. Why would I want to move out? I've been here all my life. It's a great city. We built this city from ashes. Crime is going up. Anyways, we're going to start the show. And I'm going to do a commercial in a minute, but I first want to do my quote. And here's my quote. You can either cry in the rain or dance in the storm. We know there's a storm out there. We know it's raining. We know times are tough. Go out and cry. What are you going to gain? Dance. Make it better. Fight. We could get to the next level. You know, right now, Mr. Biden is waking up. And he's finally agreed to debate on June 27th and September. These are like debates that should be really in the fall, right before the election time. But instead, they made these debates for June 27th, and I don't know the other date. It's going to be interesting because Biden said, come on, let's go. And Trump said, you know what, I'm ready. This is going to be great. Now, let's just go to the worst case scenario that Trump loses. It's the lowest class felony that's possible. And you can get up to maximum of 4 years. I saw a lady today with 75 arrests, breaking into a store, robbing and hurting somebody and being arrested. She's going to be out tomorrow. 75 arrests. 75 arrests and she's out on the street. You're going to put President Trump in jail? That's what you're going to do? Over what? Exactly? Some business records? You find them $500 million? This country has lost it that we're looking to get people for no reason. We're looking to, something is wrong. I'm not saying conspiracy, but I don't know where to end. I don't know when it ends. It's something is going on. You want to call into the show, everybody? It is 646-974-1580. 646-974-1580. You don't have to call in. I have a lot to say to you anyways. But I want to tell you a funny story, a joke I think was very funny. You know, when my two boys were little, Moshe and Avram, they were, I think, 10 and 9 years old. I had the baby, Yaakov, and he's getting married now, by the way, to his beautiful girl, Rayleigh. They were here tonight. They stole my Easy Pass, so I'm stuck. I can't go out of town, but I'm going to get a new one. And so Yaakov was getting married. He was a baby. He was 1 year old. And we were sitting at the dining room table, and Yaakov is crying. He needs to eat. We all knew he had to eat. We had to feed him. So I wanted to give Linda a break. She worked so hard, so I got up, and I went to feed Yaakov. And we weren't sitting at the table, so I went to the couch where it's more comfortable. I sat down, and I pushed over the wheelchair, the high chair, and I started feeding Yaakov. And while I was feeding them, the kids and Linda finished eating, and Linda said, okay, everybody, ice cream. And everybody ran to the freezer. They were starting to pull out the ice cream, and Linda screams at me, what kind of ice cream do you like? You know, because we bought a whole bunch of vanillas and chocolates. And I said to Linda, vanilla. She says, okay. And, you know, I was so happy. You know, Linda was thinking about me, even though I'm sitting on the couch feeding the baby. So anyways, everybody has the ice cream. I finish feeding Yaakov, and I go back to the dining room table, and I'm looking around, where's my ice cream? I said, Linda, where's my ice cream? She says, oh, there's nothing left. I said, but you asked me what kind of ice cream I want. I told you vanilla. She says, no, I asked you what kind do you like. I wanted to know what I would enjoy. So she says, you said vanilla, so I tried the vanilla. It was great. I said, okay. She ate my ice cream, and she, I shouldn't have told her. I should have said I like chocolate. Maybe it would have been left over. Anyways, I thought that was funny. Anyways, here's the deal. First of all, by the way, this Sunday, there's a Greek Jewish festival on Broome Street between Allen and Eldridge Street. I've been going to this Greek Jewish festival every year. I have Georgia, our co-host, is Greek, and I have a friend that's Greek, and they're all very serious Greeks and all that, and I make fun of them. This is a Greek Jewish festival. It's on Broome Street. It's going to be running from like 12 to 6. Come on down, meet me over there. We're going to have a great time. They have some kosher Greek food. They have dancing. I'm going to go dance with them. Last year I danced a little bit, but this year I'm going to really dance a lot with them. I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm going to let you film it. But I want you to know something. Just because something doesn't affect you in this city doesn't mean that it shouldn't concern you. Doesn't mean you shouldn't mix in. Because what's going to happen is sooner or later they're going to come after you, and the neighbors are not going to help you. That's what I was telling people before in the first 5 minutes of the show. We need to be able to be concerned about our fellow citizens. We need to be concerned that a bunch of young idiots went now into Cooney College and took over a building and nobody's doing anything about it. We can't have lawlessness in this city because they feel like it. I understood in the 1960s and 70s when we fought against the Vietnam War. It made sense. You know why? Because our soldiers were going over there for a war that we had nothing to do with. Yeah, we had to protect freedom. Like now, we had Iraq and we had Afghanistan, but our soldiers are there, so we have to be worried about our soldiers. We can't protest the war. But in this particular case in Israel, none of our soldiers are there. They attacked Israel. This week, the United Nations Women. There's a group organization with women on sexual abuse. The lady was supposed to at least condemn what the Palestinians did to rape and rob and murder. And she didn't. She resigned. She walked away from this big, quiet meeting. Why? Because pressure. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And you know what? I'm an American citizen, no questions asked. Everybody makes fun of me. You wear the American flag. Where's the Israeli flag? I am a Jew, but I'm an American. But I'm still a Jew. The Jews are not scared. We are not scared. Israel is not scared. And if they have to defend it alone, just like Begin said, we will go it alone. We are not going to let you come after us. My father fought in that Holocaust. He fought the Germans. He survived. Do you not think that he didn't come back? He wasn't going to let nobody tear him down. I saw that big, powerful man. And then he got sick at the end and he died. Anybody could take you at any minute. You have to enjoy your days. Any minute you can go. I am now so happy. I have my children and grandchildren, and I have this great city, and I'm running for city council. Everybody makes fun. Oh, you're going to lose again. You're going to win again. One of my producers says, oh, you lost so many times. What do you care about the people if they don't care about you? Because I care about the people. It's not the point of what I'm going to gain out of it. It's what I can do for others. And if I get something in return, it would be great. That's the objective. That's what we're supposed to do. I do so many other things and so many, I told this story many years ago. I went to Israel after my mother passed away to pray at her grave, where she's buried. She bought her cemetery in 1967. She always wanted to be buried in this particular place with her, next to her mother, and she made sure that the place was there very safe. And you know what happened? And I'm telling you now, what happened was that we buried her there, and I went to visit her grave to pray there the next day. And I'm sorry, Instagram fans, but something happened with the internet, this poor internet. So I'm sorry if you keep going in and out. So I went to bury my mother, and I went to Israel, and I took my sister who has Down syndrome. Esty is very competent. She takes buses herself, speaks to herself. She has an allowance. She's great. Her apartment is cleaner than mine. And I always tell you, she's very high functioning. We gave her a lot of love. We made her part of the family. She's loved like she's a regular person. She's great. And a lot of her friends, they do their hair, they go makeup. Anyways, we were in Israel, and I go to this spa. And it's a religious spa, and Esty, my sister's very religious. I would go mixed, and I took it to the counter, and Esty's arguing with me that she's going to sit there. I said, no, Esty, you have to come in to the thing, at least go to the pool. And this young lady behind the counter, not religious woman, comes around the counter and she heard our conversation, grabbed my sister Esty. I said, what are you doing? She says, we're going to take her. I says, well, I didn't pay, and I'm still deciding what package to get. She says, you don't worry about the package. And we all paid. She wouldn't let us pay for Esty. She took Esty, and she gave Esty a massage and a bathrobe and mud, and took her to their special split ladies' place. And I was so I didn't need her charity, but this is called caring for another person. This is what New York has to be. We have 8 million people here, and we're controlled by 51 idiot councilmen, which I want to be one of them. $110 billion is taken from the citizens of this city and spent, I don't know how. We have one mayor. That's it. Then you have your 400 senators, state senators, and 400 assemblymen making laws to control our state. But really, it's always affecting New York. You know, we have a senator, Simcha Felder. He's going to be my competition. He's a senator. He was a councilman, the controller. Then he went to the Senate because he didn't want to work so hard. Now he's coming back because he's ready for his pension. And he thinks with his name brand, he's going to beat me. The only good thing is it's in my district. So he's not really running in the whole city. And he doesn't live in the district. And he's going to do some cheating. If he doesn't even live here for 30 years, and now he's going to come back to fight with me, it's okay. I'm ready. I'm ready, and I hope you vote for me, and let's do a commercial. HeshyTishler.com, and I want them to put it up there. HeshyTishler.com, it's my website. I did collect enough funds. I'm ready to go. I still need another 20 grand for some more, but I have maximum capabilities right now to run an independent, for an independent election. We're not allowed to spend like 250 grand. They lowered the amount on an independent election. You're only allowed to spend $142,000, and then you get an extra 40 grand if you raise on the side for some other advertising. But that's it. They have a rule of how much you can spend and how much you can collect. And the independent is less than the regular one, where you get like 184,000 and then another 40,000 to spend. So it's very serious, because when you hire a campaign manager and a treasurer and signatures, you lost half of your money and you won't have enough to run your campaign. So I'm ready to go, and I could use still some more funding. HeshyTishler.com. Please donate to my campaign. $10, $20, $50. I want to be able to knock them out. Come on in, join me. I hope they put it on the screen one day, but if they don't put it on, that's fine. And then, of course, I want to talk about my company called Green Line. Green Line Building Solutions, or Compliance. We have two different names. We're located at 202 Forster Avenue, and we have a parking lot in the back. 718-871-0382. 718-871-0382. I keep looking up at the screen because I thought they would post our stuff, but our people didn't want to post anything. I don't know why. I think the producers are watching YouTube on another channel, not watching my show. Anyways, thank you so much, producers, for putting up those commercials. I always complain about it. And I want to apologize to you guys when I get a little angry at them, because I like my show to be perfect. I want you guys to get good information. I want you to understand where we're coming from, because I want to change. I want you to back me in this city. I want you to help me. I want to make a change. Like I want to be one of those 51 idiots. I want to be able to scream and holler and show you that we could fix this city. It was fixed. It was working. Now, Donald Trump, I feel in my bones he's going to win this court case, this criminal court case. But the point is, here's my point. Even if he loses on the lowest federal, how do you put him in jail? He's a president of the United States. He's not going to do anything violent. Okay, probation. Plus, he's going to be appealed. So you have to let him out on appeal on the lowest possible conviction. But either way, even if the trial is almost over. Either way, till you sentence somebody is 2 months. You can even sentence him 4 months later. So his sentencing might not happen till November. But again, this judge might rush things along. But you're allowed to stay out on bail on appeal or your own recognizance. I'd like to see, if you see that this guy starts pushing to sentence him or tries to put him in jail right away, we need to riot. Then you know it's a political thing. But you know what? I believe we're all going to stay home and quiet. Even though we don't believe in what Trump believes in, or we're against some of his ideas, we need to be able to focus that if something is wrong or we see an injustice, even from our own family, like that father saw that kid vandalize the monument, you turn him in. That's what our founding fathers wanted. Justice. Justice for all and the pursuit of happiness. You know, I have my own house. And people who have their own houses, they keep their houses clean as much as possible. They fix things. They try to make things fancy or not so fancy. I have a regular, plain, standard house. I keep it very nice. I try to upgrade it a little bit, my apartment. But the other people have to take care of themselves. And I make sure that it's in the lease. And I watch them and I go in there and I help them. If I have somebody with issues, I bring them social workers or I bring in a maid and I help them in all my places. I bring a lady in once a week to each building to clean up my place and other places to help other people. I make sure everything is done correctly. I'm involved with a co-op building. Now, the beauty of a co-op building, it's just like an apartment building. And listen to what I'm telling you. A co-op building means each person has to take care of their apartment, which makes sense because they live there. They mop the hallways in front of them, but even though we have a super for that. You maintain your building. You don't throw out garbage. When you put out garbage, you do it nicely. You want your building to look nice. You want your children and guests to come in because it's your building. You're an owner or partner, but really it's still an apartment building no matter which way you want to think of it. It's still an apartment building where you share all the expenses. I was watching television on a building at Sterling Place, and I know these buildings for like 40 years. And my mother was involved with buildings over there. And these tenants lived there forever. And they complain about leaky roofs. And the building department has 100 violations. Of course you have 100 violations. You keep complaining about roaches and rats and mice and broken ceilings and broken walls and broken doors. Why aren't you keeping your apartment clean? Why do you have an ant infestation that you go to a store and you bring home old food? Why aren't you cleaning your apartment? Why aren't you helping with the hallways? Why aren't you doing the garbage correctly? If you see something broken, patch it. It's your apartment. If you kept your apartment like people would keep their co-ops, you would live nicely. Instead, they're going on a rent strike. They barely pay rent. But they're going on a rent strike that the landlord didn't fix it enough. I know that the New York City Housing Authority, it takes a month or two before they even come down to inspect your broken thing. Then when they come inspect to fix your stuff, could take 6 months. If a landlord like me takes more than 24 hours, we get a violation. We get a violation and the city writes it up. Oh, you had 900 million violations because you keep coming. You know, today I had an inspector that called me at my building at 6:50 on my way here. David, a very nice man from Queens Night Division. I said, you're from Queens? Yeah. You had a complaint. I don't even know how he got into the building. That's my problem. He rang all the bells and he got in. And just then, the doorman left like about 6 o'clock. I said, what are you doing in the building? I want to come. I have a complaint. I said, didn't you see that there's 800 other complaints? Don't you see it's a fake complaint? I said, go. I said, I can't stop you in the building already. I don't want you in there. But go. He says, it's anonymous. I want you to take me in. I said, I'm not taking you in. I'm not taking you around. Nobody's letting you in the middle of the night. That's for sure. That you know that. You come in the middle of the night, go knock on the door. You see anybody working? Why would you come in? Who works at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night? Even the workers go home. But they come to see if they can get you a violation or torture you. This is what we're doing. We're trying to hurt our neighbors, steal from them or blackmail them. And the city's looking also just to make some money. Or why do you need a night crew to check if you're working at night? How many jobs really work at night? And anybody who does work at night is most likely has permission because there's a problem during the day. And a lot of these tenants that you want to fix their apartments, you tell them, can we come in the evening because you're not home during the day? No, you can't come during the day. I'll set you up on a Sunday. I'll set you up on a Monday. I have one guy, a very good tenant in one of my buildings, and he hasn't let the exterminator in for 3 months. I said, you know, I send the exterminator 3 times a month. You don't let them in, now you're complaining. And he calls 311. I said, but you're a good tenant. I said, it's your fault. We complain, we take. You got to take care of yourself. You got to care about the other person. You can't just go home at night and say, hey, man, I have no issues. I go home at night. And I am happy. That's the truth, that half the issues and problems that I see or people getting in trouble is not happening to me. You know, I go to these protests. I go out of my way to go to the counter protest. But the truth of the matter is, it's not happening in my community. It's not happening to me. We're safe. We've figured out how to protect ourselves. But what about them? And when they do come after us, are we ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? You're not ready. Nobody's ready. You need help. You know, I was in Prospect Park and I saw benches, New York City benches that belong to the Parks Department. Some idiot painted it as the Palestinian flag. Okay, he vandalized, but he made a nice job of it. My question to you is, why hasn't the Parks Department changed it back? Why have they allowed it to sit there while the Jewish people are walking through there? Why haven't you painted at least some of them with the Israeli flag on it, if you allow that? We're all scared of this woke leftist attitude, and they're not really that powerful. They're not really that powerful. You know, I always speak to my co-hosts about, reparations. What reparations? We know what the past is. You've lost a court case. Whatever happened in the past, I understand. We've come a long way. You know, Morgan Freeman, I was watching one of his videos. He says, don't call me a black man. Call me a man. Because I'm a man. We fought to be equals. We fought not only the black people, the Jewish people, the Spanish people, the Asian people, the Indian people. We've come here to be equals. We're here to show the world that we can come and pick up our steps from the bootstraps, from our bootstraps. I understand there was slavery 400 years ago, and the Jews were slaves 3,000 years ago in Egypt. We were then conquered in Babylon. The Iraqis slaved us, killed us, wiped us out. They owe us money. The Germans captured us, slaved us. Not enslaved us, killed us, didn't feed us, beat us, killed our children, burnt our children in front of us. Reparations. There are some people that have gotten reparations. What have they gotten? Nothing. Those reparations are a waste of your time. Just like those people in those buildings on Sterling Place, 1402 Sterling Place. They don't want to do anything. They just want to collect their food stamps and rent and do nothing. Just take. It's not possible that these people are able to protest. Well, if I don't work a 14-hour day, I won't be able to pay my bills. I won't be able to have a nice tie. I won't be able to have shoes. And I'm not talking fancy stuff. Stormy Daniels. She blackmailed a man that was running for president. Okay, maybe back then he wasn't, in 2006. And he took money from his own business. He didn't steal the money. He didn't rob it. He had his lawyer handle it. I mean, I actually watch people do mortgages and appraisals every day. And sometimes I laugh when somebody tells me their building is worth $2 million when I know it's not even worth $900,000. But that's what they have to do. Why isn't the Attorney General going after everybody in this city? And forget about maybe there's nobody doing it in the future. What happened to all those people who did it in the past? All those other businessmen? And nobody got hurt. I don't know. I saw a video of the 68th Street train station where it says die or divest. You're telling me there's no cameras that saw these people doing it? There's nobody nobody watches these people. Nobody's seeing the trains being defaced, vandalized. That's why we have robbery, thievery. You have no problem with rats and bugs, but if my covers on my garbage can is not closed, I get a $600 ticket. There's a powerful watchdog group that has been to hold Donald Trump accountable for constitutional violations, and they're investigating when he was in Mar-a-Lago. He was meeting with a bunch of oil companies, and he told them these are citizens for responsibility and ethics in Washington. He's not president anymore. And they want to make sure that when he told these 20 oil gas companies and he asked them for $1 billion for his campaign run, they said that he promised to lift restrictions because he should lift restrictions. And yes, they're lobbyists. We have a guy, Ezra Friedlander. He gets paid to go to politicians, and he gets paid and he gives them gifts or makes them parties or campaign funding for them to do stuff for people. I don't understand. Here's a man that's running for president. He's not asking for a bribe while he's president. He says, give me funding so I can become president, and I will lift those restrictions. Let's take a call. Who's calling on the phone? Hello?
Hi, Heshy.
Yeah, how are you?
Hi, am I live?
You're live. You're live on all my programs. What's up? Who is this?
Wow, my name is Burach. I'm from Williamsburg, and this is my first time calling in. I've been a listener for quite a while.
Hello, Burach.
And, first, we appreciate all the stuff you do.
Thank you.
I have a question, particularly.
That makes me feel good. That's the right
the Department
way.
of Buildings. I'm renovating my house, Baruch Hashem, in Williamsburg.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I feel like they're just coming after me with violations just because I'm a Yid. So first of all, I want to hear your advice. And second of all, even if we can hire you, do you work even in Williamsburg?
First of all, I work in all 5 boroughs. I help all denominations. I do a lot of freebies for mosques, churches, and synagogues, which are shuls. And I work in all the boroughs from the Bronx to Manhattan, Queens. I try not to go out to Long Island because I have enough work here and we're busy and we do help. And first of all, you are correct. I know for a fact from inside conversations that there are many of these inspectors, and they get promoted after a while, that they come after the Jewish people. They're looking to come after us. I have sanitation people that tell me that that City Hall is telling them to go after the Jews. Yes, they're coming after you. They're coming. Even if you have your permits and plans, I teach my people how to hide from the building department. Why, Baruch? Because no matter what, the second you let them in, they're going to find something. And I'm going to tell you a stupid story. I had a perfect building. Perfect, Baruch. Nothing. I mean, I am the greatest field inspector that can exist. I really believe it. I'm not bragging to you. I've done thousands of inspections. I've got hundreds and hundreds of plans approved over the last few years. I've done over 30,000 violations. I myself, with my crew, installed 30,000 toilet bowls and stoves and worked on hundreds and hundreds of homes and buildings. And I've learned how to fight the building department. And I had a perfect building box. So when I'm telling you perfect, when I do an inspection, I'm so tough on my people that there's no way I fail. I haven't failed a construction inspection. Plumbing, like I keep telling people, I'm not that good. And you know what happened? These 2 firemen came in. They said they had an anonymous complaint. And I laughed. And we let them in as a joke. They couldn't find the complaints of illegal working and dust control. They found a toy in the hallway. These carriages, not even a carriage, a carriage cart. And they gave us a violation for $1,300 because there wasn't 5 feet passageway in the hallway. I said, we're going to move it. We're going to move it. He says,
the FDNY or the Department of Buildings?
It was FDNY. And then the Department of Buildings comes. And wait a minute, but they came down because Department of Buildings worked with them. Department of Buildings comes down and checks now for special permits permits on your wall. And then the FDNY checks for, even though you got it approved by the DOB and the DOB came to inspect it, the FDNY has to come back and re-inspect the same thing you just inspected. I have a vacate order of a fire in a building. And we checked it. You should see we filed the plans with permits and everything. And this inspector from the DOB was vicious. And he says, hey, everything is perfect, but the fire escape is not the way I want it. I said, but the vacate wasn't for the fire escape. And these buildings don't need fire escapes. I'm not lifting it till you put a fire escape. I said, but a fire escape is not legal to install. I had to go to the commissioner. The commissioner says, is there a fire escape in the back? I said, there's no fire escape in the back. There is some kind of a ladder system that leads to the roof. He says, well, file a plan to move it from the rear to the front, and then we'll accept it. I said, but these buildings are connected. This is what they do to you. We're going to give you a violation no matter what. Whatever building you build today, you better concentrate that 15% additional funding goes for violations. And what the worst part is, Baruch, I don't even care about your violations and fines. What they do is they give you stop work orders. They shut you down. Now you can't move.
This is what they threaten me. This is exactly what they threaten me.
Yeah, that's it's not. You can't even. But why don't you have an expediter? Why don't you have somebody on your staff constantly? And according to the Fourth Amendment, you never have to let them in.
Right. No, I tell you, I didn't even think I need an expert. I have all the things. Everything's and it's not the first time I'm doing this. Everything is in order. Everything is there, but it's mamish like they're just coming after me. I feel just because I'm heat. It's
not.
crazy.
It's not only you. They don't go after certain bad neighborhoods. You know, some neighborhoods they're scared to even go to. You know, I go to tough neighborhoods where BOB shuts down jobs, but they only get in there, you see, once the building already burnt down, once the fire or once the bricks collapse, because they're too scared to go in there when there's issues, because they know these people might hurt them or threaten them, or they're scared to drive around there. You know what I mean? They come back. And they love to come after the Jews. They love to come after the Jews. I have a tape of a inspector saying I'm closing down all the Jewish porta potties. You know what a porta potty is? A bathroom, right?
Right. Yeah, the outside, the construction.
Right, but the building departments called all Jewish synagogues, shuls, porta potties. They call our synagogues toilets. And we have it recorded on tape. That supervisor was demoted, and now he's promoted.
But let me ask you. I mean, obviously, I can't vote for you because I don't live in your district. But I could tell them.
You can always donate.
Are you going to be able to change something about this? Like, do you even have can you get to the commissioner to something where you could talk to him? It's crazy.
Well, let me tell you right now. First of all, you can donate to the campaign, heshytishla.com. You can donate $10, $20, $30, and you should tell all your friends. You know, I'm going after the Bubba people who control our neighborhood. That's a Bubba Hasidim, my listeners. They're a very big organization. They're very good people. But till now, they haven't supported me, and I'm hoping they will support me this time. And we have these big organizations, but I have the little people that come for me. I help a lot of little organizations, and that's what I do every day. I fight the building department. I speak to the commissioners. I speak to the chiefs. I speak to the inspectors. They all know me. And can I make changes? Yes, because they give me answers. They say, my boss is this way, the higher this way, the chief says this, the commissioner says this. I say, but you know, when we lift a vacant order, we just did an inspection. To shut down a job, they can do it in 24 hours. But to open a job up, it takes a month. To send an inspector down on an emergency call takes 1 hour. To send somebody down to re-inspect, to lift your vacate, takes a month, sometimes 2 months. I have a guy in Staten Island that lifted every vacate, every stop work order, got a signed off Department of Building, signed off electrical permit, plumbing permit, construction permits, mechanical permits, 5 different inspectors. Now we asked to lift the vacate order that was a vacate that had nothing to do with this new construction. And they gave us a partial lift during the job. Now they're saying, well, we can't lift the vacate order till we do another inspection. I said, are you joking? Yes, the next inspection is June 23rd. I said, are you joking? The guy can't sell or use his building because you're telling me he can't open the store on the first floor because there was no fire there, nothing to do with it? Yes, I'm going into the DOB. When I get into city council, I want to be on the committee of the building department and HPD. I'm an HPD receiver. I see what I can do when the judges appoint me to be in charge of certain stuff, that I have the power, but I have the power is doing small stuff. I'm going to get on these committees. I'm going to shut the DOB down and take away their budgets. I want to combine the DOB, the HPD, the DOT, the DOF. I keep replying to telling it to you. I want to make this. I understand how these people work. We have city councilmen who don't even know how to add, and they're on these committees making up laws, and they don't even know what they're making up. You have commissioners that have never worked or lifted a 2x4 or have never done an architectural plan. You have people that are sitting there who are plan examiners who have not even been architects long enough. They've been sitting there plan examining while we're professionals. So, Baruch, yes, am I going to make changes? When I get in there, you're going to hear me holler and scream. That is the deal I'm going to make. I want to be on these committees.
At least we can count on you. And just one more question: Who are you actually running against this year? I know they tried. They don't want you. They don't want you to be there, but. Who was actually this year against you?
So Kalman Yeager has gone. So right now it's an open vacant seat. So what they did is they wanted Penny Ringel, who doesn't live in the district, who's one of the old de Blasio guy who helped get me arrested and told me that he was going to arrest me during COVID when I opened the parks. And as you saw, I was able to open the parks myself. I was able to make the changes. I was able to fight them. I was able to change the rules. I was able to know the laws. I was able to help the park departments to join me in my fight. So yes, I was able to fight them. I knew the law, how not to let them into wedding halls, and I made 104 weddings during COVID. So who's running against me? Right now they have nobody. They want to put somebody up from the Community Board 10 that allowed that allowed homeless shelters in Borough Park. Do you believe that we have homeless housing in Borough Park now?
Right. I heard about that.
So they want to put this guy, Barry Spitzer, up. But I don't think he's going to come against me because I can beat him. Penny Ringo, who worked for the mayor, and then he has no job now. So what they did was they made him a DOT commissioner. He didn't like it, so he became a Department of Sanitation commissioner. This guy knows nothing about sanitation, nothing about traffic. He worked as a liaison to the mayor, and now they want to put him up against me. But he doesn't live in the district, and he won't debate. And he doesn't even have the money, so I know he's going to collect the money illegally. So the only person they're talking to now is they're talking to a guy by the name of Senator Simcha Felder. He is the only competitor right now that has the power that if he comes down, the big schools and rabbis will support him. Why? Because they're scared of him. But he has done nothing. In the last 3 years, he hasn't even shown up in Albany to vote. And you're going to bring him back to city council to do zero. We have problems not only with the DOB bar, we have problems with postpartum depression. No money has he brought in for our people. No money has he brought in for the hospitals.
This is what I don't understand. Like, why don't the mainstream Rabbunim support you? This is what I always have a problem understanding.
Because I am not going to agree to a lot of their fake legislation. I don't agree to a lot of bull. I don't want to say the second word. So when I tell you now that when I see something wrong, I'm going to tell you something wrong. I'm not going to allow them to approve stuff into the budget that's not acceptable. $110 billion budget. We're over budget. We had to cut funding for sanitation. We had to cut funding for special education. You know, if you have a special needs kid, you have to go to a special hearing. And at the hearing, they deny your funding. And then right away they might give you back, if you put up a good argument, just enough funding. And then if you're not happy with it, you have to go to court, which takes 4 or 5 years. So in the meantime, you have to lay out thousands of dollars to take care of your special needs kids. And at the end, you get back the bare minimum. It's just unacceptable. These things have to be changed. The system has to be changed, and it's there to be changed. I don't know how you found $6 billion. I don't know why you would take $1 billion away from the policemen. I don't know why you would take $1 billion away from the police when you could take away $1 billion from having duplicity in government agencies, bro. These government agencies have the same commissioners, the same people, the same cars, duplicated. Sanitation parking lots that are half full that you can fill up and we can use it for other stuff. Anyways, I'm not going to keep screaming. Simcha Felder, I'm ready for you, and I hope the people don't even think that you're serious. But I want you to know that there's a dentist in Florida, Baruch, and the rest of you out there. Here you go. This is America, back to America. There's a Florida dentist who's an imam. You know, like you have a dentist who's a rabbi. And he sparks horror with sermons calling Jews brothers of apes and begging Allah to annihilate them. So he's calling Jews animals or apes. God forbid we would say that about the black people or the Spanish people. Oh, my God. What did you say? And to annihilate them in America. Nothing is happening to him. He just threatened. He's preparing a riot. That means if somebody gets hurt, he's not going to get blamed. I went to a protest that I was screaming at people in the street over there. They were affecting other people. I screamed at them, and they arrested me. Here you go. A Florida imam threatening and telling their people to kill Jews. I'm watching videos of people standing in the street, stepping on the American flag, burning the American flag, spitting and saying, "Death to America, death to Jews." I don't know. I don't know how you guys allow it. I don't know how you guys accept it. And this is what we're doing. By the way, just want to show you, Baruch, this is very interesting. There's a new scrutiny on the New York City's Administration for Child Services after it was accused of diverting funds from disabled children. The agency had also acknowledged that it took benefits from orphan children for more than a decade. Nobody was watching this. Billions of dollars was taken away from orphan children, disabled children. ACS is busy going to your house. You know, all you have to do is make a complaint. Oh my God, he hit the child or he pushed the child. Like a year ago, there was a mother and daughter fighting over a cell phone that the school didn't let her have. And of course, I would take away that cell phone from my kid. I've taken away the computers. I've taken away toys from them. You know that. When the child is misbehaving, you take it away. She grabbed it away, and the child said, "You hit me." She told the teacher called ACS. Boy, they caused this trouble. But that's what they did. They came, they caused trouble, they made reports, they threatened, and then all of a sudden they sue, and the parents have to get lawyers, and they're in court and psychologists. Right now, I am in court with a young girl that was kidnapped from the grandparents. And they're telling us the grandparents have no right to see the grandchild because some foster parent that adopted the kid illegally, the grandparents can't see it. I go see my grandchildren every day, every other day. You're going to take away that privilege? Are you crazy? And the judge now did us a favor after we psychological and did forensic psychology events, allowed the child to now finally sleep over at the grandparents' house after 4 years of showing them how good this grandchild is. And you know what the lawyer did? The lawyer for the other side says, well, our religion is not the same as their religion. First of all, that's not true because I've seen parents that are Christian and Jews are able to share custody. I see parents from different religions helping each other. Here, because one Jew is Hasidic and the other one is more Sephardic, and I'm talking the minute differences of the Orthodox religion is so minute that these lawyers were making a big deal of it. And they were billing out $400-500 an hour, both sides, fighting over nothing. Here's another little funny thing. In my yeshivas and schools, there are no metal detectors. I swear to you. Not one of the yeshivas in New York City do I know has a metal detector. Really. Isn't that funny? We have thousands, tens of thousands of Jewish, I don't even know, maybe over 200,000 Jewish kids, maybe more or less that are going to our schools all over. We have schools in Borough Park and Flatbush and Manhattan and Queens and the Bronx, Jewish schools all over town. Specialty schools, high-functioning schools, special needs kids schools. Not one of them have metal detectors. New York City schools are bringing now in metal detectors after stabbings. Are you believing this? I mean, how many kids could possibly be in a school? 300, 400, 1,000, 1,500 with protection and watching them. I mean, teaching them. The teachers should know that each kid, there's only 30 kids in the class, 35 kids in the class. You should know what your students are like. When I was in high school and elementary school, the principal knew everybody in the school, knew everybody's name, their family, the family history, went to the schools, made sure the PTAs, when the parent, I remember I was in school with a kid who was wonderful. He was the best in the class. It was 4th grade. He was the best. He knew the place of where the reading was at all time from the Torah studies and not. He was brilliant. And I became good friends with him. He was just so much higher level than me. And then after a while, he started coming late to school. He missed a few days. He was sluggish in class, and nobody could understand it. And I remember the principal couldn't understand, not just the rabbi and the teachers, they understood something was wrong. And they finally went to the house and they figured out that the father had a heart attack. He was sick. He couldn't go out to work. And the boy went out and started doing the father's early morning routes, delivering milk, helping on a truck, working late at night, wasn't able to do the work. And again, it was so good that our school was able to get together and help the parents with some funding and do some boxes. We always did some extra food for Shabbos. And I keep preaching and I'm going to keep bragging about it, that me and my organization, Shevas Achim, we feed 153 families. I wish I could do more. I know I could do more. I know I can fix the parking situation. I know I can fix the traffic situation by me. Just use me. And I bet you Williamsburg, did you ever drive in Williamsburg on Wallabout Street? Oh my God, Baruch. On Lee Avenue, I go there because I have a building there that I manage. And just sometimes I'm stuck an hour. God forbid a car breaks down or there's an accident. You are stuck for 2 hours. You can't turn around. You have to back out. It's just whacked. It's wild. I want to show you a model of how I can fix the traffic situation by me, how I can fix the budget, how I can give you a taste to make things better. Maybe those other stupid councilmen will join me. I know there's going to be 8 or 10 of them already with the special caucus there that will help me. So I believe that that I can make changes in the city. In the same way I can make changes for repairs in the city. Help people out. Not just send, when there's a problem with a tenant and the landlord can't fix it, or the tenant is just vicious, doesn't want to pay rent. That's what we teach our people right away. To get somebody evicted from your house could take 2 months. 2 years, I'm sorry. It used to be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Now, 2 years if somebody says, I don't want to pay you rent. He says, oh, my ceiling is broken, the rats, the ants, just like that. He can break stuff. He calls the building department or HPD, and they right away write it up. I have a guy that was written up because around his radiators, it was bubbling water. It was not possible. Then we find out that the guy unscrewed the valve, the radiator valve, and flooded the place a couple times. But he didn't flood it so badly enough, so the wood got warped. Building department came down and says, the floors are cracked, crooked, you have to redo the floors. I said, are you crazy? First of all, it's the top layer, it's not the subfloor. But that's how they wrote it up. And then they torture you. Now, if you don't fix it quick enough, you get in trouble, even though the New York City Housing Authority takes a year till they fix anything. And they write you the violations. So now the guy goes to court and says, hey, look, my floors are warped. Oh, my God, the water is too hot. Really, they actually complained the water is too hot, not hot enough. Or the heat broke down, or my elevator's not working because we're fixing the elevator. Things do break. And you know what? They go to court and they get it postponed and they don't let you in. So now they don't let you in. You can't do the repairs. They make another complaint. So now there's something called an emergency repair. The city sends somebody down. An independent contractor that you hire for cheap charges you 5 times the amount. For nothing. To fix a piece of broken glass that you broke could cost you $1,000. I had a guy that went into a building to fix the heating system. Really, it was just a service call. $1,800. To replace a boiler, $15,000. And it wasn't even to replace it. All he did was the repairs. A chimney, they wanted $12,000 when it doesn't cost more than $4,000 to $6,000 for 2 different chimneys. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's what the city does. Then they bill you. They make a profit. I have a guy that the building didn't have to be knocked down. He had a nice building. It was vacant for many years. A lot of squatters got in there. He got rid of the squatters because he wanted to sell the building and develop the land. The building department said the building is dangerous. It's not, because the squatters kept breaking in. So they put in emergency repair, and he was in Canada. He didn't live here. And he didn't get served the proper notice. And the building department went in and knocked down his building. Now, this little garbage building, to knock it down when I filed plans and with contractors, wouldn't have costed more than $100,000 to $200,000 with him being ripped off. The city charged him $800,000. They put a lien on the property, plus 9% interest. This guy's dead. Here we go. Let's talk about Israel, because I didn't talk about Israel. We're not supposed to go into Rafah. I don't understand. When they go into Rafah, you see terrorists all over. You still see them with the people behind the thing. You know, they said 40,000 Palestinians were killed. Where are you getting that number from? You're getting it from Hamas? The Israelis know that 14,000 of those people that died were terrorists and soldiers. Those were terrorists living in tunnels. Those were terrorists that came into Israel to kill and have done this and shootings. They're still shooting rockets from hospitals and from private people's homes. Now, the other 26,000 were regular people. But is that number correctly? Is that number correct at all? And plus, why are those people there? You're in a war zone. And how come you don't have the same numbers with Ukraine and Russia, that the war is going on, 2-3 years? How many people have died there? How come you're not protesting for the Ukrainian people against Russia? Why are we stopping the war in Ukraine and Russia? And you know, China has a deal on how to make the war go away. They could stop it. And we're not making it go away. Tell me why. Something is up. Somebody's making money. Somebody is accomplishing. Somebody's getting over the others. You even see videos of the terrorists beating their own women for food. They're animals. Iraq, Iran. I mean, Iraq now is supposedly better, but Iran is a bunch of losers. They don't even know how to shoot guns and airplanes and whatever those stupid those drones are. We can wipe out Iran in a minute. Why are we so scared to go into Iran and wipe them out? Why is Israel so scared of America to wipe them out? Go in there and blow them up. They have no army. Their 1 million-man army are a bunch of losers. There's no way they can defeat Anybody. There were a bunch of kids that took over a country in 1980, and somehow we allowed them to do stupid stuff because we saw their rabbi or their sheikh or Khomeini. And they all thought Sharia law is something important. It's not. You don't run a country by law. Everybody screams at me, well, Israel should be followed by the Bible. No, Israel's an independent land. Sure, we want it to be Jewish and religious and holy, to follow the Ten Commandments and the commandments of God. We don't want debauchery and homosexuality. But again, the land does belong to the Jewish people. How you observe your God is your answer. We don't punish other people for not observing God the right way. Yes, the Bible does say we do kill and stuff like that. But again, even so, the Bible is so strict on their punishment that when you do get a punishment, it's got to be really, really bad, really warned, and everybody's got to see you do the sin. Today, we want to have sex on the streets. We want to run down the streets naked. We have queers for Palestine. Queers, homosexuals for Palestine that would be killed. I mean, we keep telling you this. Those queers don't know better. They think it's funny because you know why? They're on drugs. We're bringing drugs in. Do you know that drugs is one of the biggest killers, and you all know that, in the United States today? They're saying crime is down, but do you know how bad suicide rate is? Almost a third it increased this year, suicides. A third. I don't even want to tell you how much it grew during COVID because you locked them up. The government allowed this to happen. And now that it's over, where's our psychological reprieve? Where's all that money to help the people? Why aren't there better psychological being people taken care of in the schools? We don't care. We only care that October 7th happened. It's over. Now we have to worry about the Palestinians. You start a war, you get the war back. We go after you. There's no proportional hit. I was watching a television show that, yes, they come and hit us, we proportionally hit them back. And the guy said that they know we're going to hit them back proportionally. They know exactly where we're going to hit them. They know exactly where we're going to attack them, so nothing's going to happen. No. You come after us, we go back after you big time. You come touch my family, I'm not coming back after one person. I'm coming back after your whole family. You want to go to war? Let's go to war. The wave, they're saying, and right now, and I know my show is coming to an end, but a lot of these young, blonde, tattoo girls are watching TikTok, and they're actually converting to Islam. They think it's funny converting to Islam here in New York, in the United States. You think it's funny. It's not funny. Go there to their countries, marry one of them. Let's see you do it. You're right, you marry over here, you can get divorced. But it's not easy being married into Islam. Be very careful when you're joining somebody's religion, even the Jewish religion. It's very complicated. Very complicated. Here's before I end the show, I want to tell you, Steve Bannon was found guilty on, not listening to Congress or conspiracy. He was given 4 months in jail. He's appealing the case. 4 months for not doing anything, guilty, not even lying, just telling the Congress to drop dead, so they gave him contempt and 4 months in jail. He's appealing it. They want him to serve time in jail now. Why? He's appealing it. He might win. If he serves the time and he wins the appeal, what do you gain? That's the rule. That's the problem. That's my issue. Well, anyways, we're coming to the show's end. I want you to know, thank you for listening to me again, Rant and Rave. I hope our country fights its way back. I hope you come out to vote for me. I hope you come out to donate to me. Thank you, my YouTube fans. Thank you, my Instagram, and I didn't say goodbye to my WSNR listeners and WNEW, but whatever. I'm happy that they joined us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining my show. Come on back next week. I'm always here. I'm always available. You can always call my show. We're going to put that quickly. Green Line Building Solutions. Can we put that up for them? Green Line Building Solutions, 718-871-0382. Baruch, if you're still listening to the show, 718-871-0382. You have a problem, you call me at Green Line. I will help you with your building department issues and guide you and walk you and see what I can do for you. Thank you so much for listening to the show.